I can't believe Trump said something nice about Putin, Kim, Xi, anyone. He must love them. He's folding to them. You know, if it was me in charge, I'd tell them to go screw themselves, right?
Okay, I appreciate a good live streamed meltdown, but that's Don Jr. defending his father, who he calls Trump in the video. Like, imagine if I just referred to my dad as Iadarola. How weird would that be? Anyway, he's specifically responding to the criticism, which is not new, by the way, but it's renewed since Russia invaded Ukraine, that Donald Trump routinely, I'll try to communicate in a way that the right wing will understand, cucked himself to dictators around the world, was a beta to dictators around the world. Don Jr. sees that. He doesn't like that criticism. They are very self-conscious about this. And so he tries to put up a bit of a defense. There's a little bit more of it. Let's take a look.
This is some nerd in his mom's basement who's never dealt with anything, never actually had any power, never understood those people because he's never been in the same room as them. In academia, they're writing this stuff like it's real, like they actually have a say, like they actually know what the hell they're talking about. Do you ever think that, like all other things, maybe Trump understood that? He knew exactly how to play these guys, and he played it like a fiddle.
He believes that his dad was playing the fiddle and making them dance. It's three-dimensional chess when he says that he fell in love with the dictator of North Korea, or talks about how awesome it is that Vladimir Putin can kill his political opponents. That was actually strength. Don't get it mixed up. He's not a cuck. He's proving how strong he is by saying everything they do is great and how he wishes he could do it too. What do you think?
I think that during Trump's tenure, his sucking up to Kim Jong-un, who he claims he fell in love with, they fell in love with each other, continued developing the very nuclear weapons that he claimed to want to put a stop to. I think that Donald Trump has done a great job in regurgitating the political and global interests that Russia has had, including wanting to dismantle NATO. I was thinking about that today, actually. Do you guys really think that Donald Trump sat around one day and decided to really critically think about the usefulness of NATO? Because he was just using very similar talking points to what we've heard Vladimir Putin say. I just don't see Donald Trump as someone who has a genuine original thought on geopolitical issues or even most domestic issues. The only time he has a real strong opinion about something is when it has to do with his own personal agenda or profit motive. But look, Trump, if he were in charge right now, anyone who claims that he would actually be a good counter to what Putin is doing to Ukraine is delusional. We're talking about a man who withheld hundreds of millions of dollars from the government of Ukraine. This is money that was appropriated by Congress to Ukraine to bolster their military capability in case Russia was planning on invading. And guess what? They ended up invading. But Trump withheld that money and also put out all this disinformation about how it wasn't Russia, it was Ukraine that meddled in the 2016 election. Yeah. Trump does the bidding of the worst people in the world, including Vladimir Putin. I think it's telling that his son is so defensive about it. It tells you everything you need to know.
My garbage person is Donald John Trump Jr., who completely unironically has this to say about people who recently were laid off from their jobs at the Washington Post.
It's actually hilarious how they react to any challenge, any adversity, and it's actually really scary for the future of our country because I imagine a lot of this aligns up with that next generation. None of these kids these days, or these young, aspiring journalists or whatever, they've never functioned in the real world and they live in some sort of fake utopia. So the parents of these journalists going to start calling into the Washington Post to complain because their child didn't get a participation medal. They did run a paper into the ground with their woke nonsense. And now we get to hear about their pouty, whiny voices. I mean, it sounds like a high school right now. People aren't getting their way, so they're going to complain.
So Donald Trump Jr. is essentially saying that this young breed of millennial has had everything handed to them their whole life by their parents. Sir, people in bamboo houses should not throw pandas, as my wife told me was a saying this morning. That's exactly your life, Donnie Jr. Your dad gave you everything, even the hand motions and possibly all the cocaine it seems you are just sandblasting up your nose.
Yeah.
And then yeah, go ahead.
A fun fact about Don Jr. Can we put up the video of him again? A lot of people think that he, like me and you, by the way, is beginning to show his age just a little bit with the salt and pepper beard. Nope, his beard is pure black. He's just leaning too close to the mirror, I think. But anyway,
beard.
Oh God! Here's a challenge for Don Jr. Open your eyes. Can you do it? Can you physically open your eyes? I don't think so at this point.
It's so sad. And then the last thing he says is that people are kicking and screaming when they don't get their way. That's how he does his air quotes the whole time. And if you want a treat, just watch all of his videos on mute. It's fantastic. But that's exactly what your side was doing when they lost the election.